Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sean. Today I'm going to be doing a April wrap up. So I actually read a lot of books this month, surprisingly, because the last couple of months I've been in some sort of reading slump. I read one book in February and I read I think 3 books in March, and I don't know, one day I was like, you know what, I feel like reading, and I just could not stop reading. So I read about more than one book a month. I mean, I read more than one book a week, which is exciting because I read a lot. So for this month, I actually did switch between ebooks and audiobooks and actual, physical copy books. So for those that I read with audiobooks and ebooks, I would just be inserting like a picture in this either general area or here, somewhere around here, so you guys can see the cover and the book that I read. Anyways, that's just a little tidbit, whatever. Let's just get on with the video. So the first book I read this month is The Blood Spell by C.J. Redwine, and this book is actually the 4th installment in I think it's the Ravenspire series, but it is a standalone series, so each book in the series can be read by itself. And it's also a fairy tale retelling, so Bloodspell is actually a retelling of Cinderella. So the main character, Blue Delacour, has magical power. She has the ability to mold metals. However, in the kingdom that she lives in, if you are seen practicing magic, you will get executed. So she has to keep her magical abilities hidden. And in her town that she lives in, she's noticing that her neighbors are struggling. There's kids on the street. So she really wants to do something to help. So she is practicing how to, instead of just molding metal, how to turn metal into gold. And she has to do all of this in secret, and her father does know about her magical abilities, so he lets her practice her magical powers. However, her dad gets murdered, and she is in the custody of this woman who is extremely powerful and wealthy, but she is also very, very cruel. If Blue missteps in any ways and this woman finds out about her secret, she can easily expose her and have her executed. But in this town, Blue is noticing children are disappearing off the streets, people are being murdered, and there is a magical plague going around. A lot of danger is popping up, and Blue feels that she has to do something. So she actually enlists the help of Prince Kellen, who she actually has known since she was a kid. They're childhood friends, except for the fact that they hate each other, they despise each other, and now they actually have to work together to solve this mystery as to why is everybody dying and disappearing. And if you guys love enemies to lover tropes, and if you guys love fairy tales and magical powers, and this is definitely a book for you. I rated a 4 out of 5. This was actually a good book for me to get out of my reading slump with. I picked it up and I just could not stop reading it. I finished it in one weekend. It is definitely a nice, enjoyable read. The second book I read this month is Tequila Kingdom by Alexandra, Christo, and I rate this book a 5 out of 5. I loved it. It was an amazing read, and if you like books about sirens and kingdoms and princess and princes, this is a book for you. So it's actually told in 2 perspectives. It's told in the perspective of Princess Lyra, who is a siren, and then the Prince Elian, who is a human. And so Princess Lyra is the princess. Her mother is the sea queen, and she is the princess of all of the ocean. And she is known to be cruel by sirens and humans alike. And she is also known as the Princess Bane by the humans. And Prince Elian is the heir to the most powerful kingdom on land. And he is also a world-renowned siren hunter. He thinks it's his duty to be killing these sirens. Princess Lyra kills one of her own kind. Her mother turns Princess Lyra into the thing that they all hate the most, which is humans. She took away her tail, gave her legs, and she took away her ability to sing. And the only way she can turn back to a siren is if she takes Prince Elian's heart. Prince Elian is out on the ocean, and he noticed a girl drowning in the middle of the ocean, and so he saves her. And it's none other than Princess Lyra. So when he sees her, he knows something is wrong. And he starts to suspect that she is not who she says she is. But Prince Elian is on a mission, and he's trying to figure out how to destroy every single siren once and for all. And Princess Lyra knows how to do that. In exchange to live, she tells him she will help him on his journey to find out how to find the key that kills the sirens. This book is also a enemies to lovers trope. It has a lot of great banter, a lot of sarcasm and humor, and I just love the dialogue between the characters because it is very funny, very humorous, and I definitely think that you guys would enjoy this book. If you guys haven't read it already, I do recommend. It is a 5 out of 5 stars. So good. Next couple books that I read is actually the Ruin series by Paula. So Ruin is the first book in the series, and Unbroken is the second book in the series. So this series, or this duology, is actually a ghost story. So it takes place in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Rebecca Brown moves from New York City to New Orleans to live with her eccentric aunt. She doesn't know anybody there. She doesn't make any friends. People are mean, they're rude, and however, one day in a cemetery, she befriends someone, and her name's Lisette. She finds out that she is a ghost, and the more they hang out, the more Rebecca starts to realize the mystery that shrouds Lisette, and Rebecca also starts to realize that her life is a lie, that she's living a lie, and she is not who everyone says she is. The next book is called Unbroken, and Rebecca is back in New Orleans, and she is helping out this ghost boy, this ghost teenager, and he is involved in this murder mystery that she is determined to solve. I rate these series 5 out of 5. Once again, I genuinely like this, and I also like how these two books tell you a lot about New Orleans history. They talk about the Civil War, they talk about segregation, they talk about gentrification. It actually takes place post-Katrina. So they also talk about how New Orleans is surviving after Katrina and how they're rebuilding. If you guys like books that not only tell a good story but also has a ring of truth to it, also has a little bit of history, you guys would definitely like this series. So if you're those type of readers, I would definitely give this a try. It keeps you entertained, and it gives you a lot of information, good information. The next book I read is called The Leaving by Altebrando, and this is a mystery novel. So 6 kindergartners go missing without a trace. They basically vanished into thin air, no clue as to where they've gone. 11 years later, 5 of them return, and they're now 16 years old. And none of them remember what happened to them in those 11 years, and they do not remember that 6th kid. But they do slightly remember one another. And the 6th kid, his name is Max, his sister Avery is not buying into this whole memory loss, and she is determined to figure out what exactly happened to her brother, if he's still alive or if he's dead, and she's determined to figure out the truth and what happened to these kids. I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5. I like the idea of the book. I thought it was going to be very interesting when I first got into it. I mean, 6 kids go missing, 11 years later, 5 of them return. It's definitely a great idea. However, I did not like how the author executed it. There was a lot of unanswered question, regarding the why, the how, and the aftermath. And I don't really think this book is a lot of closure when you're reading it, and when you finish the book, you're left with more question than answered. It did not give you any closure. I don't know, I just did not like the ending. I personally did not like it, and I just don't like how the ending was executed, honestly. I don't know. Definitely not a book I would ever really want to read again, to be honest, but that's my opinion. The next book that I read is I'm in the Night by Wendy Walker, and this is also a mystery novel, mystery/thriller novel, and I rate this book a 5 out of 5. It was beyond amazing. It was the plot twist at the end, you would never have seen it coming. If you love mystery books, And if you love books that are a huge plot twist and you cannot even guess what's happening, I would recommend this book, because you would think you know what's happening and then boom, you'd be like, I would never have guessed this in a million years. 3 years ago, two sisters go missing, Cass and Emma. 3 years later, only Cass comes back without Emma. And as she's telling her story as to what exactly happened to them and what happened to Emma, Dr. Abby Winters, who was on the case when the sisters disappeared, she's trying to piece together their story, or Cass's story, and she finds out that Cass is actually lying. She's lying about what happened there, and she's lying about what happened to Emma. And so Dr. Abby Winters is determined to figure out what happened to Emma. As she dives deeper into figure out what happened to Emma, she starts to realize that Emma and Cass come from a very dysfunctional family. A very toxic family. So not only is Dr. Abby Winters suspecting Cass, she's suspecting the whole family. She knows something is wrong. I would definitely recommend this book to you guys. It's really, really good. The next book that I read this month is Leaving Paradise and Return to Paradise by Simone Elkeles. This is a duology. And this duology is about a girl named Maggie and a guy named Caleb. The story is told in the perspective of both of them. Caleb is actually getting out of juvie for being involved in a hit and run with Maggie. And Maggie spent the last year in intensive hospital care, intensive physical therapy, and she's basically now disabled. He hit her leg really badly and she has a permanent limp. And so now that Caleb is getting out of juvie, he is not excited at all to see Maggie and the damage he's caused her, and Maggie is not looking forward to seeing Caleb. But the problem is, Maggie used to be best friends with Caleb's sister, and they're neighbors, by the way. And so after the accident, Maggie never talked to the sister again. They just gradually fell apart. And so their goal right now is to stay away from each other, but they can't because they are neighbors. But Caleb knows something about that night that Maggie does not know, and he is determined to keep it a secret. But the secret is eating at him. And not only does Maggie hate him, his family is acting weird. He doesn't have any more friends. He's just a loner, and all because of this secret. I rate this book series, I'm going to say 4. Like, at 4. 3.9, borderline 4. I like the romance between these two characters. It's amazing. It's really great, and it's really heartfelt. But the problems that were in this series, a lot of the problems that they talked about were problems that could easily have been solved through communication. It did drag on to 2 books, but anyways, genuinely did like reading this series, and it's a really cute book. The next book that I read is This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith. So the main character, Ellie O'Neill, accidentally received an email from this guy about his pet pig named Wilbur. And they formed an internet friendship over this one email, and they've been talking for a couple of months. It's just an online relationship, online friendship, so Ellie never thought anything of it. However, the guy, Graham, that she's been emailing, sees as an opportunity to come to her hometown to get to know her and meet her. And Ellie realizes that the person she's been emailing is a famous actor, and he is in their town to film a movie. And Ellie is hiding a secret. Her and her mother are hiding a secret. So not only is Ellie dealing with the fact that she has a secret, which means she can't really be with this guy. They are from opposite sides of the world, and they have opposite lives basically. She is very reserved, lives in a small town, and Graham is a famous actor that all the girls love. And so this book just talks about their summer together. So if you like a good romance, fairy tale romance thing, you guys would definitely enjoy reading this book. Okay, the next book that I read this month is The Au Pairs by Melissa de la Cruz. If you're looking for a poolside book or a beach read, I recommend this book. It's basically a Gossip Girl meets The Babysitter's Club in a way. If you're looking for a light read, I would read this book. So it's about 3 girls, Mara, Eliza, and Jakai, and they are au pairs for this family in the Hamptons. And just Kai is trying to find the love of her life, who she met in South America, and she finds out that he actually summers in the Hamptons, so she's there to find him. Eliza used to be from the rich socialite lifestyle. However, her family actually goes broke, and so she is trying to chase that again. She's trying to find her old self, the one who used to be rich. So she summers in the Hamptons to try to live that lifestyle again. And Mara is just saving up money for college in a car. She doesn't really want any drama. She's there to actually earn money. These three girls are all polar opposites. They're living in a house in the Hamptons, taking care of 4 kids, spending the whole summer together, and trying to navigate the party life, babysitting, their romantic life, and trying to get to know each other, and just basically trying to get through the summer. The last book that I read is All's Fair in Love, War in High School by Janette Rallison. It is definitely a kiddie read, I'm gonna say that, but it is one of my comfort books. What just fell? Anyway, so it is one of my comfort reads, so I did enjoy reading this book. Once again, 5 out of 5. And this is just one of those books I reread at least like once or twice a year. And so this is my first time reading it this year. So this is just a high school setting, high school drama. So the main character, Samantha, is falling apart. She failed her SATs and she's struggling in school. And she is thinking about her future, and she's scared that she won't get into a college. So she decides, you know what, I'm going to run for president for her school election. However, the guy she works with, Logan, he says that how can you run for president when you can't go 2 seconds from insulting someone? So they make a bet. Logan bets Samantha that she cannot go 2 weeks without insulting someone. So she takes him on, and she's determined to get everything she wants out of high school. She's determined to get a date to prom, win the school election, and win this bet with Logan. So those are all the books that I read this month. It's a good amount of books. Most of the books that I read I genuinely did like, for exception of just a couple. And I hope you guys got some really great book recs, and I'll just see you guys next time. Bye.
So I'm crashing here tonight.